This is a quick video on the way that Call of Duty has been monetized throughout the years and the problem with the current system. This video will also describe my view on how I feel about it and my experience with it. Now that we got that out of the way, Black Ops 4 feels like a guinea pig, and for good reason. After years of monetizing Call of Duty, Activision is still actively changing the way the series is monetized to gain profit. Activision has been aggressively pushing for more profit rather than ethics, but I want to look back at previous Call of Duties and its player base to look at why this current situation is rather awful. Before Call of Duty Modern Warfare, there was no post-release downloadable content. The game wasn't as big as it currently is, obviously. But with Call of Duty 4, things changed. You often hear from people that it's their first Call of Duty. The post-release content for Call of Duty 4 was not as we know it now. It was simply one map pack with the bonus of Winter Crash. With World at War, we got post-launch but close to what we have right now. 4 map packs with 4 multiplayer maps and a co-op map accompanying each map pack. For Treyarch, the co-op map has always been zombies. Despite that 4 map packs were to be the future, this did not become mainstream for Call of Duty games until Black Ops, as Modern Warfare 2 launched with 2 DLC map packs without co-op maps after release. Call of Duty Black Ops released with a Season Pass, effectively pre-purchasing the 4 DLC maps for $10 off. This has continued throughout modern times with Call of Duty, and this was the same with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. With Call of Duty Black Ops 2, there was way more than just map packs. It had an extra created class DLC, while also having several personalization packs that each contained a camo, a calling card, and a reticle. On top of that, the game had calling card packs. Despite that, I felt like personalization packs were a fair way to implement microtransactions, as you knew what you were paying for, and the prices were decently fair. You also got more out of one of those packs than you do in all the loot box systems implemented in future games. Not only did Black Ops 2 have microtransactions, but it was also the first Call of Duty to implement post-launch weapons outside of Zombies mode. This weapon was included with the first map pack and given a week earlier to Season Pass owners. Despite being locked behind paying, you had the option to straight up get it. This is important for later. Call of Duty Ghosts simply mirrored Black Ops 2's post-launch content with a few guns extra. Now we have a stumbling block. With Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the first release of Sledgehammer games, weapon variants and loot boxes were introduced. While I personally didn't have any problem with it, a lot of people felt rubbed the wrong way due to the fact that loot boxes were purchasable and therefore you could gamble your way to more powerful weapon variants. Powerful in quotations. Advanced Warfare had quite well implemented loot boxes. The cosmetics gained were so you could easily customize your character, and despite variants having different stats, they had unique camos. People still felt exploited for the fact that loot boxes were in the game, but we all saw it coming, and for some, it was actually not that bad. I personally felt that it was quite good. Despite the initial start, new weapons were added after the first DLC. I didn't hear that much outrage over said fact. They weren't that hard to acquire. The RNG felt good and the boxes were dropped once or twice per game. With Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the community felt outraged and I personally felt frustrated. Once again, the game had a Season Pass. Nothing in terms of cosmetics or weapons could be straight up bought. A lot of launch content was locked behind loot boxes, and frankly, your luck was terrible, especially when you combined it with how much you gained from those loot boxes. Especially with how much content came out, odds of getting anything you wanted were slim, and to me, the content that Treyarch released was not that great. I put in 2 prestiges and I owned an axe, a weapon that caters to a completely different playstyle. Needless to say, I felt quite raw. With Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, my mind's a bit foggy. I stopped following Call of Duty for several reasons, but I currently play it more than Treyarch's latest title. Infinite Warfare was the point that the community understood that loot boxes were here to stay and therefore fought for a fair system. And despite having both variants and weapons, it rewarded its players well. Variants could be bought with scrap. Scrap was acquired from duplicates. Therefore, you were able to straight up buy variants even after spending money or time into it. You could get what you want. Some were still locked behind boxes, but there was enough to keep you busy, and most box variants just had a 15% bonus XP modifier on top of being a variant. While weapons were still locked behind boxes, luck seemed pretty good, as I currently own 2 of them despite having meager hours spent. I cannot say the same for Black Ops 3, nor can others. While all the positives, the game still carries out Black Ops 3's crypto key system, which means that with a certain amount of keys you can buy a loot box, or a bigger amount of keys will grant you a bigger and therefore better loot box, which were also able to be bought. The next game, Call of Duty World War II, had orders, completable challenges in order to get supply drops, weapons, or cosmetics. Not only that, the game released with a non-buyable currency that you could use to buy guns and other type of content that was released. Variants were back once again but were purely cosmetics, and personally they looked great. Since orders were simple to somewhat hard challenges, there was a sense of progression. You could also buy them with credits in order to get more credits, supply drops, or variants. These had completion times, a race against the clock to get everything that you wanted, but unlike previous games, they had a sense of progression. You could once again buy them by just playing the game, and it didn't take that long either. Seasonal events were fun, gave you opportunities to come back and gave you direct control of what you wanted to purchase along with getting free boxes. A fantastic system in my opinion. A system that should have been carried over, but didn't. I still return to both World War II and Infinite Warfare due to how you're rewarded. World War II was the peak of good and rewarding system, one that I would like to get back. Now we've arrived at Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Activision has tested many different systems but still made Black Ops 4 their guinea pig. Why, you ask? Because they simply won't settle on what is best for their player, but rather what makes the most money. Within the development of Call of Duty 4, Battle Royale games were exploding. Within this explosion, Epic released their version, one that was made from a game they were actively working on, Fortnite. Fortnite became known for its Battle Royale game mode rather than its co-op mode, and when it became bigger, the need for content was bigger. The game was bare bones and they decided to implement a tiered season pass, as it would call it. The system where by paying for it, you could unlock a bunch of bonus content. From playing, you would progress to the tiers, and not only that, completing challenges also helped you progress. They decided that this was a fit for Black Ops 4, despite Black Ops 4 being a $60 game instead of a free-to-play one. Not only that, the rewards you get are meager. Fortnite also gives you currency to buy things from the shop, something that Black Ops 4 only allows you to do with bought Call of Duty points that cannot be earned. The pass is also quite empty, and weapons are locked behind the pass despite Fortnite releasing free weapons. Not only did Treyarch make quite a disappointing way of monetizing their games, the rewards are also not that great. While you know what you'll get and the pass is free, the rewards are mostly not worth it. The characters' rewards lack depth and the weapons are a huge grind. The estimated hours are massively compared to Fortnite and are simply to exploit the people that do not play the game often and easily succumb to their needs or desires. This exploitative behavior is disgusting, especially because it's abusing a whole new generation. This isn't aimed at the people who have played the series since the rewards were awarded for challenges or were directly purchasable outside the package, but for those who come into the series as followers of trends such as Fortnite. The quality of what is being offered is simply not up to the standard of what it's been. Personally, I feel like animated camos are being overused and are not that great. The state that Black Ops 4 is in is simply awful. It didn't release this way, but we knew that something was coming. But we didn't think it was going to be like this. It's simply exploiting its newer players, disregarding the feeling of actual progression. Meanwhile, they've added more and more ways to purchase content that is out of your reach without spending a ton of time into the game, even with the tier skip. Buying the current weapon on the store that is in tier 50 will simply cost you over $40. While loot boxes are gone, there is no way to earn something you'd want quickly without spending a ton of money compared to loot boxes. There is no chance. There's only purchasing $40 worth of COD points to get a weapon instantly. And even if that sounds somewhat better due to the fact you can directly purchase it, it's a decline in quality and the sad state that Call of Duty is in. It's sad to see such a great game ruined by Activision's greed, as it stands quite greatly on its own from a multiplayer and zombie standpoint. I do not play Battle Royale games, and I hope to see it in a better shape in the future. What do you think? Please express your opinions in the comments below. My name is Kai, and thank you for coming down memory lane with me.
Another day, another dollar.